Hello students, myself Vikas Tiwari once again welcomes you to our channel Mass Academy for Advanced Physics. Okay, so we are going with the topic units and dimension. Units and dimension is the very first chapter of class 11th. So till now in the lecture 1 and lecture 2 we have gone through with the concepts of units. Okay, so we have categorized the units into two parts, fundamental or base unit, and the second one is derived unit. So we have gone through with the concepts of units over there. If you have missed that particular lecture or you want to go in the details of the units, so you can follow our lecture, first lecture and second lecture. So this is our lecture number 3rd. Okay, in this lecture we are going to take the concepts of dimension. What is dimension? We are going to define what is dimension and what are dimensional formulas. Okay, so there is a great significance of dimensional formula in physics. So right now we will start with the concepts of dimension of physical quantities over here. Okay, so what is the basic definition? What is the basic definition of dimension? The dimension of any physical quantities are those powers which when applied on fundamental units gives the unit of that quantity. Okay, so let us understand what is the meaning of it. Okay, so there are we are saying that in physics we are dealing with physical quantities. So if we can say that there are different quantities used in physics can be written as dimension of mass, length and time. We know that mass, length and time are fundamental quantities. Even we know that current, which can be expressed in ampere, okay, then temperature, which can be expressed in Kelvin, that are also fundamental quantities. So the different quantities used in physics can be written as the dimension of mass, length, time, ampere, Kelvin also. Okay, so but right now I am taking MLT just to understand the concept. So if I say that A is dimension of M, B is dimension of L and C is dimension of T, then dimensional formula of that particular quantity can be written as m raised to power A, L raised to power B and T raised to power C. Okay, so let us understand by taking some physical quantity. Okay, so we have already know, just we will take about density. Density that we have already studied in the previous lecture, that it is defined as, the basic formula of density is mass upon volume. This is mass upon volume. So when we are talking mass upon volume, mass can be written in m. Okay, so mass, what is the, can be written in m, and volume can be written in meter cube. Okay, and meter is length, so we can express it as L cube. So first we write its meter cube. Meter can be written as, meter cube can be written as L cube. Or in other words, first we can write mass can be written either in kilogram and volume can be written as meter cube. Okay, so kilogram is mass, so we can express kilogram mass in terms of m, and what is the power here? M raised to power 1 over here. Okay, and here what we will say, m cube, this is meter cube, L cube. So there is no term of T over here, so we can write m1 L minus 3. Okay, so this denominator if goes into numerator, it can be written as L raised to power minus 3. Okay, so this is L raised to power minus 3 and T raised to power 0. So this is the basic dimensional formula. This is the basic dimensional formula for density. Okay, right now if we say what is force, force can be written as mass multiplied by acceleration. Okay, mass multiplied by acceleration, that we have seen in the previous lecture. Mass can be written as kilogram, and acceleration can be written in meter per second square. Okay, so this is what also we call say kilogram meter per second square, which can be said as Newton. 1 Newton can be written as kilogram meter into second square. So what we are saying, kilogram meter into second square is the Newton. Now kilogram can be written, if we can write this in particular form of mlt. mlt we can say m raised to power, kilogram power has 1, okay. Meter means length, L1, and this can be written as second squared. Second means time means, so it can be written as m1 L1 T minus 2. So dimensional formula for force can be written as m1 L1 T minus 2. What is work? Force multiplied by displacement, okay. So now it is simpler for us because we have already calculated the dimensional formula for force. So that is m1 L1 T minus 2 multiplied by displacement. Displacement is written in L1. Displacement is distance. Distance can be written as L. If the base are same, the power gets added. So we can say m1 L2 T minus 2. Base are same, then power gets added. So 1 plus 1 becomes 2. So this is the formula, dimensional formula for work. Then we can say what is the dimensional formula for power. Dimensional formula for power, power can be written as rate of work done, okay, W upon T. So now it is simpler for us. We have already write what is the dimensional formula for work, m1 L2 T minus 2 divided by time. Time, what is the power of T? Power of T is 1, okay. And if it goes over here, so it can be written as m1 L2 T minus 2 into T minus 1. If bases are same, then the power gets added, m1 L2 T minus 3. So this is the basic dimensional formula for power. This way we can calculate dimensional formula for any physical quantity. So this is about what is dimension, basic definition of dimension, and how we are calculating the dimensional formula of that particular physical quantity over here. So this is the very first part over here. Now what are the uses of dimensional method? Okay, so there are 3 uses has been defined over here. The very first use of dimensional method is transformation of units from one measuring system to another measuring system, okay. So this is the first use of dimensional method. Then what is the second use of dimensional method? To check the dimensional correctness of any physical relation or formula, okay. And what is the third use of dimensional method? To establish the relation between different physical quantities. What does these means? Okay, so let us take them one by one over here. So first of all, I am taking the very first use of dimensional method. The very first use of for the dimensional method, this I am taking as first one is transformation of units from one measuring system to another measuring system. So let us elaborate this particular point, okay. So what we will say? We will say that this is based on the fact. Which fact? That for any physical quantity, its value multiplied by its unit, and it always remains constant. So this is based on this particular facts. So what does this mean? What is this meaning? What is the meaning of this particular fact? That if unit changes, its value also gets changes, okay, but the value multiplied by unit, it is always remains constant, okay. So what does this mean? if we say that P is any physical quantity, then it is equal to N1 of U1 is equal to N2 of U2. Okay, so now what is the meaning of N1 U1 and N2 U2? Okay, P is any physical quantity. We can define that P is any physical quantity. Okay, so if P is any physical quantity, in that particular case, if we say what is N1, N1 is value of P, N1 is value of P in first measuring system. Okay, in first measuring system, fine. Then what is the value of N2? N2 is the value of that physical quantity in second measuring system, fine. Then what is U1? U1 is the unit of physical quantity, unit of this physical quantity P in first measuring system, in first measuring system. Okay, then what is U2? U2 is the unit of this physical quantity in second measuring system. Okay, I hope you get what does the meaning of this, what I have written over here. It means that if any value, if any unit of any change physical quantity gets changed, okay, then its value also gets changed, so such that the value multiplied by unit remains constant. So P is physical quantity. Whatever be the changes over here, but the physical quantity is not going to change. Physical quantity remains constant. Okay, so we will say if the dimensional formula for P can be written as m raised to power A, L raised to power B and T raised to power C. Okay, so in first measuring system, if I will say in first measuring system, I will say this P can be written as, physical quantity can be written as, if in first measuring system mass is m1, length is l1 and time is t1, then it can be written as m1 raised to power A, l1 raised to power B and t1 raised to power C. Getting my point? Similarly, physical quantity is not going to change. In second measuring system also, physical quantity remains same. Force remains force in any measuring system. Okay, velocity remains velocity in any measuring system. That is the fact. So in second measuring system, P can be written as m2 की power A, L2 की power B and T2 की power C. Okay, so T2 raised to power C. So both are the physical quantities same. So equating these two equations, we can say it can be multiplied by N1 because value is N1 and here the value is N2. So equating these two equations, we can say M1 raised to power A, L1 raised to power B, T1 raised to power C is equal to N2 into M2 raised to power A, L2 raised to power B, T2 raised to power C. Suppose N2 is unknown for us. In the what is the value in second measuring system? N2 is unknown, so we can write N2 is equal to N1 into M1 upon M2 raised to power A, L1 upon L2 raised to power B and T1 upon T2 raised to power C. So this is the way we can, N1 is known, M1 and M2 for the two systems we know. Okay, L1 and L2 we also know, D1 and T2 we also know, and the dimension of that particular physical quantity we also know. So by using this particular formula, we can calculate the value of that physical quantity in second measuring system. Okay, so just to give just I am taking one example. Okay, so the particular example regarding that fact is that I am taking one example to express this thing. Okay, so if I say in CGS system, okay, if I say in CGS system, the value of universal gravitational constant, it is equal to, say, n1 is equal to, we can write 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 8. Okay, so in CGS system, the universal value of universal gravitational constant n1 is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 8. I have already told you, in CGS system, length is measured in centimeter, mass is measured in gram, and time is measured in second. So this is CGS system. So we have to find out the value of universal gravitational constant N2 in which system? MKS system. MKS system. In MKS system, length is taken as mass, length is taken in meter, mass is taken in kilogram, and time is taken in second. Okay, so we have to calculate the value of this N2, provided that the dimensional formula for G is m1 L minus 3 t raised to power minus 2. Okay, so this is the way we have given all the values over here. Okay, so L1, it is taken in centimeter. Okay, then M1, it is taken in gram. Okay, and T1, it is taken in second, and value of N1 is already given, 6.67 into 10 ki power minus 8 units. Okay, now if I say further, what is L2? L2 in second measuring system, MKS system, L2 is taken in meter. Okay, in MKS system, length is taken in meter, and mass M2 is taken in kilogram. And T2, it is taken in second. Then what is the value of N2? Just we have to calculate the value of N2 by using this particular formula. Okay, so we can substitute these values over here. By the dimension of G, we can say that the value of A is equal to 1, comparing value of A is equal to 1, B is equal to minus 3, and C is equal to minus 2. Okay, so what is the value of N2? By substituting the values, N2 is equal to N1. At the place of N1, we can substitute 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 8. 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 8, and after that we can say M1 can be written in as gram, and M2 can be written in kilogram. Okay, raised to power A means 1. Okay, L1 length, L1 is taken in centimeter upon, okay, L2 is taken in meter, raised to power B raised to power minus 3, and T1 in second, and it is also in second raised to power minus 2. Okay, so this will get cancelled out because in the numerator and denominator same second time units are same. Okay, here we can change either gram into kilogram or kilogram into gram. Okay, so we know that 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 gram. Okay, so here we can write N2 is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 8 gram can be written as 1 gram divided by kilogram. Kilogram can be written as 1000 gram raised to power 1. Okay, here 1 meter means 100 centimeter. Okay, so this is, we can say that centimeter, 1 centimeter, or we can write here 100 centimeter raised to power minus 3. Okay, now we can calculate. Gram gets cancelled out by gram, centimeter gets cancelled out by centimeter. So finally, what will be the value of this particular calculation? I am doing it here. N2 is equal to 6.67 10 raised to power minus 8. Here divided by 1 upon 10 raised to power 3, because it is written 10 raised to power 3, and here it can be written as 10 raised to power 2 raised to power minus 6. Okay, so ten raised to power minus 6. Okay, so here what we are saying, the dimensional formula for G, here I have written something wrong. It is L raised to power 3, T raised to power minus 2. So it is L raised to power 3. So it is also L raised to power 3. So we can say, what we can say, now it will become 10 raised to power 6. 10 raised to power 6 over here. Okay. So by this particular point we can say so it will become so we can say that dimensional formula is m raised to power minus 1. So value of A is minus 1. This way I have written something wrong here, and this is 3. So here it is written minus 1. So it is minus 1 and it can be written as 3. So now it will become 10 raised to power minus 3 and 10 raised to power minus 6, which can further be written as 6.67 into 10 raised to power. So here it will remain 10 raised to power 3, and which will become 10 raised to power minus 11. Okay, so the value of N2 becomes 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11. So we can say that universal gravitational constant is in CGS system is 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 8, while it is 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11 in MKS system. Okay, so this is what we call, this is the very first use of dimensional method, transformation of units from one measuring system to another measuring system. Okay, so in the next lecture we will discuss the remaining two uses over there. Okay, thank you very much.